There is a difference between how Google sees things and what you need to do to optimize them. What I mean here is the factors of quality scores. We all know them: ad relevance, landing page experience, expected CTR. So you have percentages that are brought up to the upper level and tell you what is the distribution of quality score on the factors that you see here. So red means below average, yellow average, and green above average. I hope the colors are pretty much self-explanatory. It's the same thing with the quality score here. If you're in the red, you're in really bad shape. Yellow is pretty average, and green is where you want to be. That's when you're not being penalized. Anything that is below 7, you're getting a penalty. So I've heard people say that a good quality score starts at 5. Don't believe in that. A good quality score starts at 7. Anything that is below 7 needs to be optimized. Anything that is above 7, you could optimize it further, but 7 is a good number to shoot for, and you don't really have to always go beyond that. So going to 9.5, that's the holy grail, but you can't always achieve it. And sometimes once you've gone to 7 out of 10, there might be other things in your account that you can do to optimize your cost of acquisitions and your conversion volumes. What I'm thinking of is we all have limited time. We all have 24 hours a day. So it might be better to work on your landing pages, work on your copy, work on many other things. So you don't always have to shoot for that 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. So what you see here in the factors, what represents the gray color is there are some keywords that haven't been awarded a quality score yet in your Google Ads account. So those keywords, you will be able to see them, and then we also show it this way you can see that there are some activity that is still missing. When a keyword doesn't have a quality score, usually it's because there's no data, meaning there is no impressions, there are no impressions, and there are no clicks. Now, in this particular case, how would I interpret this data? Where there is red is where the problems are, according to Google, when it comes to the factors at least. So in this case here, we have an expected CTR problem. So the click-through rate on this account is not that great. Landing page experience a bit and ad relevance a little bit less. Now, read the text here. It says, see how the factors of quality score are distributed. Keep in mind that they can be misleading in guiding you on how to optimize. What that means is you might look at case where, let's say, landing page experience shows the most red or ad relevance shows the most red, and you might think to yourself, oh, if I have a landing page experience problem here, I'm probably going to start working on my landing page and it's gonna improve things. In practice, that's not really how it's gonna work, and I've done a lot of testing, and I'm going to share a bit more about the theory and the practical side of things. But I just want you to understand now that there is a difference between what works in theory, what Google says are the problems in the account, and what works in practice, what is actually going to get you results. What gets results is one thing and one thing only. It is having above average click-through rates on your ads. So the only reason why this account is getting a 9.5 quality score is because of, let me take you to the first ad group, and I'm going to show it to you right now. You might have read one of my emails where I talk about the concept of a black swan. A black swan is an ad that is overwhelmingly dominant in click-through rate compared to every other advertiser with whom you're competing in the same ad auctions. I don't know if that's clear enough. That's something that a lot of people tend to forget or might not even understand quite well, is that you cannot look at your account and believe that you are working in a silo, you're alone just working on things. No, it's always in relation to everybody else that's competing with you. And ultimately, the quality score number is telling you that your CTR is either the same, higher, or below what other people are achieving for the same keywords in the same locations, and probably on the same device as well, but that's a longer story. So what I wanted to show you is this. This here is a black swan or a unicorn. Some people call them unicorn. One of our customers calls them a black unicorn, which I like. Let's call them black unicorn. This is a black unicorn. A 45% CTR is much higher and much better than a 13% CTR. This is exactly what is bringing this account to these levels of quality score. You may have seen this happen already because it's very easy to do on your brand terms. When you have a brand campaign, meaning you have your domain name or the name of your brand, and you create a brand campaign just around that name, you will see very high click-through rates, and those keywords will almost always have a 10 out of 10 quality score. The reason being that no other advertiser can have a better click-through rate than you on your own brand. Somebody's searching for your brand, they want to get to your website, they don't want to go to your advertiser website, so you will always have a better click-through rate. And so that's why those keywords always have a better quality score. And then on the flip side, you might know about competitor campaigns. You might have some competitor campaigns, meaning you are bidding on your competitors' brand names. That's the flip side. It is very hard to get a better click-through rate than your competitor when you're bidding on their own names. And those campaigns, you will find that they often have a poor quality score. And that's the only reason why. It's because of the CTR. It is not impossible to get a better CTR on your competitor brand names, but it's a real challenge that is not always worth battling on. That's a battlefield you might want to keep it for the end process. When you've optimized everything else, then you can actually try to optimize that battlefield. But you just have to understand those two things and understand what is going to make an account like this one get to the levels of 10 out of 10. What does that mean in terms of ad relevance, landing page experience, expected CTR? What it means, and I'm starting to believe this to be true more and more, the first thing, in order to get a good CTR, you first have to have good ad group structure, okay? I'm going to get into that. So ad group structure, that's the base, that's the foundation. If you don't have good structure, you can forget about getting a great CTR, because you cannot write an ad that is going to speak to two different people who are looking for two different things and write an ad that is going to speak both of them at the same time. So your structure must meet the intent of every searcher. So you only put keywords together that share the same search intent, and that's the base. Once you have good structure, then you work on your ad copy, and the structure improves ad relevance almost always. And then when you work on your ad copy, you're gonna get a better CTR, but the landing page experience as well is going to be better. So I just want to make sure that this is really well understood, because without understanding that concept about what quality score really is, there is no chance that you're going to be able to optimize it. And I've seen so many customers, I talk to them on the phone, they tell me, hey, I've been optimizing, it's not working, and I've been changing my landing page here, I've been doing this and that, I've been restructuring my campaigns over and over and over and over again, but I'm not getting results. Well, it's because you're focusing on the wrong thing. When you're not getting results, it's because you're focusing on the wrong thing. That's all. And the right thing to focus on is click-through rate. So I hope that is really engraved deep in your mind that that's how it works.